Search tips potpourri. So I was watching some of the classes on Roots, and I came across this one that they just gave a lot of different things about different ways to find records on Family Search that, and some of them we've talked about before, but I just thought it would be good to go ahead and go over them again. Because if I don't use it right after the class, I usually forget. All righty, so the first thing I wanted to talk about, and I know Sister Pilgrim gave a class last year on using the Family Search Wiki, but this is one of the places where I thought, because I still don't use it very much, and I know it's got tons of information that's good for us to use. And the way I got here is here on up at the top here, Family Search, go to Search, and then go to Research Wiki. And this is where you up here. And okay, if you look over here on the right hand side, it says read, view source, view history, and then there's a star. So if you click on that star, it will put this in your what's it called, your bookmark. Because once when you go several places, at least I always get mixed up on how I got there in the first place. You know where I started from. But if you click on this little star, it will bookmark it for you, so you can always go back and at least to the beginning. You may not go back to where you need to go, but it'll take you to the beginning, and you can work your way back again. Okay. Now the wiki has articles on. It says here 100,000 articles, and they're putting new things in all the time. So you need to remember to go back and check that off and find the things that see what things they've added for the area that you're researching. So when you want to look at the wiki, there's two ways you can do it. You can type it in up here, or you can go to the map. So I'll just go to the map and show you. So this little pop-up comes up and it says North America, and then I'll come down to United States. And then it gives you the state. So you pick out the state you want. And I'm going to go to Missouri because I have some of my ancestors were from Missouri. So when you go there, you get it tells you a little bit about the history of it and gives you a lot of information, and then it gives you hints on how to get started with your research in that state, how to find birth records, marriage records, death records, and even a step-by-step Missouri research. I don't know if many of you remember, but probably 10 years ago, probably more than that, they were every once in a while they would send the Family History Centers a little updated booklet on different countries or states or whatever. And they've basically taken all of the information. We still have them there in the Family History Center, but basically they've taken all the information. It was a research guide for that particular area. And so they have taken all of that and put it on the wiki here. So it has links to articles and websites that will assist in your research in this area. So you can see those right there: boundary changes, archives, libraries, and gives you ideas of where to go to look for it. Now in this state, the county I was looking for is Saline. So when I click on that, it takes me to that county. And it gives me the address of the courthouse, and it tells me what records are available when they started keeping records there. It even tells me that there was a courthouse fire in 1864, and so some of the records were burned, and how you can go about finding a list of those records in other places. And then what I thought was interesting was this boundary changes.
Oh, wow.
And it has a rotating, I'm having trouble talking tonight, a rotating formation Missouri County boundary map.
Huh.
And so if you go there, sure I can get rid of those things. Anyway, okay. Then it starts changing the dates here, and it'll give you an oh, that's not good. It's been working fine all day long. It'll give you an updated what the county, what the state looked like in this date over here. There's 1819, 1821, and you can see this counties are starting to take shape, and then you can make it go faster or clicking the next up there. But I thought that was real neat, especially if you're trying to figure out where, you know, in the state, you can tell that, you know, now there are lots of little ones, so you don't, lots of times you don't know what county to look in. So this was a good aid, I thought, to help you find that out.
Nice.
And then it's, pardon me?
That is nice.
Oh, okay. Let's see, and then it has some old maps of Missouri. I'm sure the other states have these sort of things too. Okay. So you can also find this if you go to Google. And if you type in Saline, is it Saline or Saline? Anybody know? Saline. You go to Saline, Missouri, and then put genealogy in. It takes you to these things, and Family Search is the very first thing on there. So if you click on that, and take us there, please. There we go. See, it takes us to the exact same wiki page. So if you forget how to find the wiki on Family Search, you can just Google it and it'll take you there. It's the exact same thing. Okay, so let's see. The next thing I wanted to show you is here on this side. Over here on the left-hand side, it says Wiki Home, about the wiki, online genealogy records, guided research, research resources, and wiki policies, and a bunch of other stuff. But right now we're going to look at the research resources. So when you click on that, you see that there's, again, it's like the wiki's purpose is to help you in your research. So it has articles here on beginning genealogy. It also has wiki. So here's a little 5-minute video on how to use the research wiki. Excuse me. So if we click on that, let's see, I think we click on that, then we see there's a whole bunch of videos, and it even has videos in about different countries, how to use the wiki to research different countries. And these are all 5 to 8 5-minute classes. They're all 5-minute classes on how to use the wiki to search in those areas. And that can be a great help if you don't know where to start with your research, and maybe in Germany or somewhere like that. Okay, the other thing I want to show you is on the left-hand side again, if you go to Family Search Library, there's a picture of the Salt Lake Library. And if you come down to learning resources, I think it is, they have, here's a place where you can click on live webinars, and they haven't done it this year up until April, I think, because they were preparing for Roots, but starting in April, they started the classes up again. And so these are the ones for May, and they have June up here also. You can see they have classes coming up. This was this past Tuesday. This next Tuesday, it's going to be using the Family Search Wiki. How about that? So,
Shirley, do you know if those are recorded, or do you have to be there at the time they say?
I think they are recorded. I know you can, I've seen some of them before. They have a Facebook page where you can look at them. And I think they do have a class limit. I think it's
Wow.
And here they have a class limit page and see the classes on there. But these are the classes coming out, and they have classes on using Family Search. And here's a class that's in Spanish. Do you know what this says, John? Universe of the registrars, something, I don't know. Anyway, but there's one on correcting relationships, federal census records, how to use the National Archives of Sweden,
Wow.
family tree sources. And then let's see, let's go back one. And if you look here on recorded classes,
Oh, there we go.
yep, that might be the ones they have. These are some that are listed.
Nice.
Yeah, but they have 302 pages
Wow. Pages? Oh my.
of, well, they're pages like this, so they're, they're not that many on a page. Or what you can do if you want, you can come up here to the search and put in Family Search, classes, and webinars, and search it like that. And there it is again. The different, it looks a little bit different, but
Nice.
you can search through there. And there's only 87 of those pages. So. Somewhere I went to, I don't know how to get back to it though. Let's see.
Do I?
Well, last month they had was national, or it was the DNA. They had a DNA week, and they did some searches on some videos on DNA, how to use DNA. And I have one of the pages. I don't know how to get back to it though. Was on how to, was watching those videos on DNA. And also here you can get to Roots Tech and see the different classes that are in Roots Tech. And this is the slide I'm at now is the Family Search Library Learning Resources that I clicked on from the left-hand side. And you can go to Roots Tech and see all the classes that they had at Roots Tech. You can do relatives at Roots Tech. I don't know how they do that after it's all gone, but they can. Oh, here it is. Here was the April DNA classes. So if you're interested in DNA, they take it all the way from the very beginning to, I'm sure, more involved things there. And then here are the sessions, and you can click on view all the sessions. And then there's the listing of the sessions, starting with the Thursday one, I think, or maybe they're alphabetic. Anyway, that's a quick way to get to those. Okay. All righty, let's see. Okay, so from here, you go to searching historical images at the top toolbar here, and click on search and go to images. And here, you can see here, you can go to the using. And here you put in the place that you want to look up, and you can see more search options and put in those things if you want. And you can even search image groups. Like if you have if you're doing something in it, if you're doing research and it says, it gives you the number of film and said this hasn't been indexed, but here's the number of the microfilm, you can put that microfilm, in here, that number, and it'll take you to that the batch, but you have to look through the batches one by one.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
Meant to have a,
she's
pardon
talking.
me? I'm sorry. Okay, and so this is the old version. The new version is pretty much the same thing, except they put a nice little picture back here behind it. You can still put in the place you want to search. Actually, there are two ways to do it. You can search recently added images, or that's not, oh, this was one of the lines in the old version. This was one of the lines underneath there. It was the second line. So you can look at the images, and this is changing all the time. So there's like 5 billion, is that 5 billion? More than 5 billion records, and it's changing all the time because Family Search is adding records. And
Shirley, when you say images, are you talking about like documents and photographs and stuff like that?
images are, I don't think, of
Film.
course it depends on what you're looking at, but I don't think it's I don't think there's pictures in there. Let me get a thing here, and I'll get a film number and show you. Just a second. I'm sorry. I meant to do this earlier and I forgot.
I'm thinking a document could be an image.
Well, it could be, yeah. It just, when you're talking about these are historical images.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so I'm going to search images. I could have done it on that other one, I guess. And I'm going to use more search options. And then I'm going to put that film number that I just looked up. I'm going to put it in here and search. And so it shows me these are the one of those. This is what it looks like. It's the actual
Documents and stuff, records.
It's the actual what picture of that of the record book. It's the image. What?
These are birth records,
Okay.
Virginia.
Right, right.
So it's actual pictures out of that. That we've downloaded, that the church has downloaded.
Okay, does that make sense? Are there any questions?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. Now the difference between historical images, or any images, I guess, and historical records are that the records are usually indexed and but images are not. So if you look at one of these images, like I showed you before, it's just going to be the picture of the record. So in this case, these are Virginia birth records. And so if I'm looking for a particular person, they're alphabetical. Well, are they alphabetical?
No, well, they are on the page.
The last name is alphabetical.
But you could go through several pages
Yeah.
looking in 1 year for a person. So you may have their birth year, but you're still going to have to look through several pages to find the
Right.
person.
Right, and you can't just put in a name and find it, because these are not indexed. These are just the images of the book
Actual record.
photographed. Okay.
There's only 300 of them.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to put Scotland in here and see what we get.
Scotland, North Carolina.
Scotland. So when I put Scotland in here, that's not really what I want either.
Somehow got put in the
Yeah,
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Shirley, I had to step out for a phone call.
Uh-huh.
So what you're doing, if you're in family search, you're going up where it said search and then images.
Mhm. Right.
Okay, 'cause I've never done that.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to the beginning and see what I did wrong here. Oh, this is historical records. Okay. No, it says images there. Oh, okay. It says if you family search will look for records created here, want to search by name, instead search historical records. But these are places that we're looking for.
Okay.
And if you see, why isn't there a name field? It's because these are not searchable by name because they're not indexed. If they're only searchable by name if they've been indexed. Okay, so I did this earlier. I don't know why it's not working right.
It's because other people are here watching you.
No doubt.
Or they're adding a lot of images.
Yeah. Well, this still isn't the one I wanted, but anyway. Okay, let's see if maybe oh, well. Anyway, it normally would work for you to do that, to be able to search an area, a specific area. Let's see, let's go on to the next.
So this would be, for instance, if I was searching for something, I usually go up and say search, and then I put family search records. But that's only if someone's put something in there, right? So if I came to this, I could actually find records and then look for information.
Well, again, these are records that have been microfilmed, so
Right.
they're not like records that that a person would put it in. They're like records when they go to the county and
Yeah.
do that. So
But
yes,
if I didn't find information on family search that maybe no one has entered any information on a person, then I could come here and actually do research on the original records to find a person.
right.
If I look for birth records or marriage records.
Right.
I'm just gonna-
You have a place and
Yeah.
I don't know if you need dates or not, but anyway, let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. So the next thing, we'll go to records, search the records. And see here, there's a place to put in the name and everything. Now, when you're doing this, you can use wildcards. Have you ever used wildcards, anybody?
Oh.
There's the name Gillespie. So but I was going to use wildcards just to see. So if you just want to substitute one letter, you can put in a question mark. But if you want to put in more than one letter, you put in the asterisk. Okay, so let me see. This will work. Okay, so see, it brings you to this Robert Gillespie. This isn't the right one, but it gives you a whole lot of Robert Gillespies, and it gives you, it's kind of like when you search in the IGI and it, you get all the sound alikes. It may not be spelled the right way, but they sound alike. These all seem to be the same Gillespie, but anyway. That's a hint when you, because lots of times, you know, you have 14 different spellings of your name. I know our name Johnson, we don't usually have that trouble unless people put an S or a T in it for Johnston. But, you know, lots of names, especially when they come immigrate into this country, their name changes. And so that's one way to put a different, use the wildcards to be able to find different spellings without having to try and figure out what they were, what the spellings were.
I was,
We find
I
it.
went out. I went out on the new census, 1940 census, and I was disappointed. I mean, 1950. I was disappointed because I finally found me on the census record, and they got my wrong name, and my middle name is wrong, and my year that I was born is wrong. So I
Yeah,
don't know who wrote it.
yeah,
It could be a census taker. It could be the
Well, my middle name is Lloyd, and it's spelled Loyde, but they spelled it Lloyd,
Hmm.
which is what most people spell it. So when they said my name was Lloyd, he probably wrote it the way most people write it.
Well-
And but it's wrong.
A lot of times they'll ask a question, what's the names of the children? And they'll get to Robert Lloyd Hill. And instead of asking how to spell that Lloyd, they'll spell it the way the census taker decided to spell it. And so that's the way it goes in on the records when they were
Right.
doing it, you know, on a verbal kind of thing. And
And
then
that's
we
why-
find the fact that, you know, somebody was doing the indexing of that, even if they had Lloyde on there, they might still put in Lloyed, you know, because they had a dyslexic moment, you know, but you get a lot of different pieces. So that's why what Shirley's showing you is, you know, you can put in and it'll look at several different spellings. So.
Well, I've always told people when they search census records, doesn't mean it's that accurate.
That's
There
right.
could be errors in it, but that hit home when I saw me and I go, well, mine's got the wrong year and it's got the wrong middle name. So that was proof to me that, yeah, there's errors in the census. But at least it's
Yeah.
better than nothing.
yeah. John has some families whose last name is Root, Root. And in the, I don't know, 1880 census, I think they were recorded as Coot with a Koot. It took us forever to find them in the 1880s. But okay, the next thing, the church is uploading books and other information into WorldCat. I can't remember if Sister Jorgensen mentioned this last time or not. Does anybody remember? Okay.
I think she talked about WorldCat a little bit, but
Mhm.
more for books.
Yeah, it sounded familiar to me. So WorldCat means stands for World Catalog, and it's it lists libraries around the world and lists the contents that they have, and sometimes you can borrow books from them, or sometimes where the nearest library is, so you can go there and borrow the book or read it or look at it in the library.
You know, Shirley, from what I understand, you
whatever
can,
needs to be done.
a lot of them you can order, or, you know, like if we can have, I guess it depends on the book, but you can have it sent to the Bedford Library.
Yes, that's true. It's like a lending.
Lending, yeah, association or something, agreement.
Mhm.
Can you actually type the name of a book in there and see if someone has it?
Yes. Yep, that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. Okay, this is a book about one of my family lines, the Hunt line. Well, that's not. Did I do it wrong? The pioneering spirit lives on.
Supposed to be the or TH?
Pardon me?
Is it supposed to be TH pioneering or the?
Supposed to be the.
I didn't know if that made a difference.
It must have, because there it is. See, here's the book I wanted. I looked at this years and years ago in the Salt Lake Library, and the list of kinds of things too. Pioneering women who brought hope to India, and then a lot of other things that have the keyword pioneering in it. But this one up here is the one I'm interested in. So there's, so if I click on it, you can see I can borrow it from the Dallas Theological Seminary. See, it shows me, it tells me about the book there, and then it shows all the libraries that it's in. It's in 47 libraries. So it tells me it's in the Dallas Library and Dallas Theological Seminary Library, and tells me how far away that is. And then the next one is Houston Public Library. That's 238 miles. But I can borrow it from any of those. I can borrow it up here.
How do you borrow it? Just click on that and they send it to you?
What's interesting is, yeah, I think, I don't know, I didn't, I didn't click on it, but I'm pretty sure. What you do.
Now, what you just typed
Okay,
in,
but-
if somebody has it digitized, would it show a digital image that you could look at online?
Right, that's what I just did. It said it was an ebook, which means
Oh, okay.
I guess digitized book. I don't know what E stands for. Internet electronic. There you go, electronic book. Okay. So I clicked on that on the electronic book, and it says here access free. So if I click on that, then here it is, and I can read it right here at home. Or do I make it bigger? Here it is over here.
Yes, you can make it bigger. So you can-
Isn't that cool?
Now, what was the name of this thing we just went to? Something cat?
World Cat, and it's worldcat.org.
What you're looking at in the Internet Archive,
Yeah.
Right.
which is a
Right.
separate thing.
So, but you can look up in, lots of books if you have a name of a book, or I think even if you have the author or maybe even the family that it's about, you can look it up.
I want to go out there when I go home, see if they have one called Royal Genealogies. It's the original one is from 1600s.
Wow. That'd be something. Well, another
They have it in a Fort Worth library, but it's under lock and key.
another another way you can get to it is, or I can't get to it, but another thing you can try is, let me find it again here. Okay, if you go to books this is back on Family Search again. If you go to books and then type in the name of your book. And see if they have it on Family Search. So you can look at it on Family Search, and there it is, by golly. And it tells a little bit about the book, and you can read it here if you want to. So, like I said before, Family Search is putting a lot of their books that have been digitized and other information onto WorldCat to make it more available for everybody to find. So, are there any questions so far about anything?
Now, I just wanted you to type in Royal Genealogies. and
Oh,
see if it
okay, I can
pops
do
up.
that. Might be in the WorldCat rather than here.
That is a real thick book, and it was written by a Professor Anthony, I believe his name, but it has royal genealogy through Charlemagne and all these
What's the name of it again?
royal genealogies.
Genealogy of the royal families of Europe. Strongest in coverage of the British Isles. By Dennis Reed, is that
Does
right?
it give the author?
Dennis Reed?
No, that's not the author. Professor Anthony or something. The original volume 1 was like in 1600 and something.
There's, no,
Problem I had with it, it's written in Old English.
oh.
So I got a lot of information out of it on my family line, but I wasn't sure if I got the first letter right, because they're always that real fancy curly Q stuff.
Mhm.
So I did my best to figuring out what the letter was, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and compare it.
Well, I don't see it right here, but there are lots of pages to look through, so it'd be worthwhile to go and look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try that when I go home.
Okay. We go back to family search. And this time, oh no, we did that. Okay, this time I'm going to go to memories. And if you go to memories and come down to find, I know we've had lots of classes on doing memories and stuff, but using the find, you can put in a name and see if what images come up with that. You can do pictures and documents and stories and all kinds of things, and it'll come up. So let's see, I'm going to put one of my ancestors in. And you can search text or topic tags, but this only works, I think, if the person who put in the picture has put in a topic tag. So here is, see here on the left-hand side, you can choose by photos, stories, documents, audios, or albums. So this is actually the one here, and this is a story, I think, about this villain, where they lived in, let's see, he was born in Tennessee, and then they moved to Missouri. Here's the one his family was living for in Missouri. Anyway, that's pretty cool. And
Shirley, a lot of my stories that I put in my family newsletter, I get them from people's memories on here.
Nice.
But I go
Yeah.
and find my ancestors and their stories about them. I put them in my newsletters.
Yep, that's great.
But
So
a
you
lot
can
of people
see
don't
it
get on
feels-
here.
Yeah. You can tell it, let's see how many entries were there. There were 10,000 results here. So,
Oh my.
and I didn't look all the way through them, but I looked through quite a bit. But this one was the only one about my relative, my ancestor. But
Oh.
there are pictures and all kinds of stuff and stories and documents. Let's change it so it's just documents.
So Shirley, even though you put in his whole name, they're bringing up everybody with the last name Covey or any name
Or
like
any
that.
or more. Yeah, not just the last name of Covey, any one of his names.
So you have to look through and see if there's any.
Yeah, so you just have to look through. But see, I did it just for documents, and it's still 10,000 results. That's not right. I don't
Wow.
think.
I find that if I go out on the tree and find an ancestor, I just click on the memories there and it's just for them.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, started a family tree with that person in it,
Yeah.
and it may be your person, they're just not merged together, so they may have pictures or things that you don't know about. It has, here's the Enoch Hutchison and Enoch Burgess, so it's any of parts of his name.
The Family History Center have got to have a fantastic storage system, 'Cause you think of how many records, videos, pictures and all that is stored there. They must have a gigantic database.
Yeah, they really do. That's why they've got that granite mountain, I guess. So I put in, this is my grandmother, my great grandmother, and these are all pictures of her.
Wow.
Then this is her.
That's a neat picture with the hat.
Yeah, it
this
is.
I think this is their wedding picture. And then this one is my great grandmother. She's standing with her hand on the headstone of my great grandfather.
Can you click on it and make it bigger?
Pretty.
Picture.
She looks young.
Yeah, I think she was pretty young. I think she.
Oh,
I
it
think
was her father.
no, it was her husband.
Or
I
her
wonder,
husband.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think
no,
it-
she's dressed in
it
black.
was-
I wonder if that's the funeral.
Well, it was probably
The headstone would have been later.
His tombstone.
Yeah. Wow, she's a young widow.
Yeah, I think
Or
she
they-
ended up marrying 3
They
times.
wore black a lot back then anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, they did. Well, here's the wedding picture.
Oh, so cute.
Mhm.
So wow, she lived 56 years after him.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
This is my grandmother, this one right here. This is my grandmother and my uncle. And then Rosa.
Neat. Where is that? Do you know?
What's
The,
in
like,
Mexico?
country?
Mhm.
It's where, New
Yeah.
Mexico? Wow.
Yeah, we lived out in the country. We had a dairy farm, and this was in a adobe house. And part of it they had put it's not sheetrock, what's that called? Plaster. They had
Mhm.
plastered the adobe, but this part they hadn't. That house is still there, or at least it was the last time I was
Wow.
there. My nephew, I think, inherited it, and I don't know if he was living there or if he sold it or what. I haven't
Where was that located?
several years. Pardon me?
Where was that located?
In New Mexico, just
I-
south of Albuquerque a little ways.
I was wondering when you said how you were describing the house, I thought that's the kind of house they built in Mexico, New Mexico.
Mhm. Yeah.
That old motorcycle would be worth some money today.
Okay, but that's that's not the gallery. It must be the people. You can find pictures of. I mean, these are people that are in your family tree, but I didn't. There's a lot of pictures here that I did not put in. That other people put in because they're also in their family trees.
That's one thing I like when you first sign in to Family Search. On the left side of the page, anyone that adds a new picture or a new story or anything, it appears over there. And I can always check my relationship. And then if it's someone that's that close to me, I can copy the information or go look at it.
Right. Right. So anyway, that helps a lot, I think, if you don't, I mean, I'm always looking for pictures and stories that will tell me more about the people. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is the Family Search blog. And to find this, you just go, I think it's actually the bottom of any page, but if you go to your opening page, and then go down to the very bottom, and it says here about volunteer and blog. I talked to you about this before, Brother Hill, how to find out what the latest changes are in Family Search. If you go to their blog site, you can subscribe to it. And they'll send you emails. I don't know how often, hopefully not every day. But anyway, it tells you.
I'm sorry, is this the stuff that shows what's new?
Yes,
Oh, that's what I was always looking for.
right.
It's helpful too when you have, am I unmuted? Yeah, it's helpful too when you just want to look up, because I read those and then I think, oh, what did that say about that? And you can look them up again and
Mhm.
see. you know, about what they say about this record or doing this activity. So
Yep. No, but this is a good way to keep up with what's changing.
yeah.
That one that they're showing here.
Everything. So this talk on Ruth's Web or Ruth's Tech, I'm sorry. It's the name of it is Finding What You Need and What You Didn't Know You Wanted.
Oh, good.
So because some of those things, you know, it's you just start looking and all of a sudden you found stuff you didn't even know you were looking for before long. Rabbit holes doing that. But if you find something you need, that's good too. So are there any questions or anything?
Shirley, was that this year, 2020? Oh yeah, 2023. Okay.
If you haven't looked through the Roots Tech topics, you should do that because there's so many great topics, just like you know, find records and just all kinds of good talks.
Almost overwhelming. There's so much.
Yeah,
I have to admit that
and then of course,
a lot of the things you just showed us, I have never tried. So,
well,
so
good.
that's gonna
Maybe you
be,
try it.
I've always just used the basic stuff. I've never actually tried some of those, so that was good to learn.
Mhm.
Very helpful.
Well, good.